Yes. Knowing what to agree to. Knowing who you are, or at least moving towards finding yourself. Welcome to another live stream here at elevationtime.com. In fact, I need to change something here. As we get ready, you vibe on the music. We're doing a few technical things. We'll be with you in just a minute. I see Dawn Osborne is in the background. She's in the green room. We're getting ready for an amazing day. Here live. Coming to you live and in living color. This is elevationtime.com. Are you ready to rise? Are you ready to lift up those around you? Are you ready to be the alchemist that you came to be? Woo-wee. I have to say that music is amazing. Dawn Osborne, I see you there. Come on in, Dawn.
Yes. The music is amazing, but I will tell you, Dr. B, there was a post that you made with that drum that was unbelievable. It was so powerful.
When was this?
Just this last week, there was a post that you made with the drum, and the resonance that came through was so great. Like, I went into a whole zone listening to it. It was amazing.
Dawn, I think that you live in the zone. I said zone. Zone.
That's zone and zone. Dawn and zone together.
Zone. I think you live in the zone. You know what I'm saying? You are always, ever since we first met, you have been in a zone. I appreciate you joining in on these classes, these workshops, these offerings that we're now giving, and congratulations. Welcome back to the team. Not that you ever really left, but I think you had to go find something. You went on one of those. I had
to go find something, and I found her.
What's that t-shirt you got on right there?
My I allow. Of course.
Wow. Wow. How many of you out there have an I allow t-shirt? Huh? How many of you have one? Actually, we've got to order some more. They sold out really quickly. We also had hoodies and mugs that we haven't reordered because we've been focusing so much on the drum and the book, but we'll get back to that. I'd like to welcome everybody. We are here live. As people come into the room, into the space, we are going to just adjust a few things. And let's adjust ourselves, our mindsets. And it would be great each day if you wake up and you choose to give yourself permission to be your best self. How many of you do that each day? Before you get out of the bed, before you rush to the bathroom and open up your phone, how many of you are in the habit of giving yourself permission? What does that mean? Allowing yourself to be your best self. Otherwise, what happens is the weather, the energy, the social media vibration, and all of the things begin to affect you and create you and give you a direction for your day. Some folks look at the news first to decide who they're going to be today, because the news said, blah, 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 blah. This is how I feel, or my friends or my family. It is important for you to create sovereignty within yourself, by yourself, without anybody else's permission, giving yourself permission, a permission slip to be your best self. So right now, if you don't do it every day, let's do it now. Give yourself permission. And I'm going to guide you really quickly how to do it. Just say, I allow myself.
I allow myself.
And give myself.
And give myself.
Permission.
Permission.
To be my best self.
To be my best self.
Now clap. That's all you got to do. Like grandma used to say. Grandma would be on the phone and we'd be doing some wild stuff and she'd go. Or mom, that special. There was different claps. There was the church clap. Then there was a clap because we're happy because we won. But then there was one clap. And all the information that mom or grandma needed to give was that she'd look at you with this look and give you that clap. You would stop in your, in your whatever you were doing, because this was a permission, right? This was permission for her to do the next thing. if you didn't do what she, you know what I'm saying? She's on the phone, she's doing things, and that directed us, that snapped us into, into
Submission.
submission. That's the word I was looking for. I was trying to find what is the word, because I got PTSD around that word, permission. I mean, around submission and permission, but a lot of us do. So give yourself permission and welcome to you. Welcome yourself in the space. Get comfortable. And we would like to ask for a little quick permission from you. Is it okay that if we share information today that you may have never heard before or never heard this way? Would it be okay for us to drop something in your ear that might change the rest of your life? Is that okay? And is it okay if we make it a little fun? Because I'm telling you, today, I don't know about you, Dawn, but I'm on one. I woke up so early that birds was looking like, what are you doing up? The squirrels was, what are you doing up? I was out on the ground with my naked feet. And, waking up and being ready for the day is a beautiful thing. And today, Dr. B is ready. Are you ready? Is it okay if we share some of this readiness? Are y'all ready to be readilized? How's that? Readilized. And lastly, is it okay if we share some information that may agitate you a bit? It may stir you up. You may say, damn, how come I didn't know that? How come they didn't teach me that? You may get a little upset. Is that okay? Because we're going to help you, vaporize that from your body. If it is okay, we're going to move forward. Dawn Osborne.
Yes, and yes.
Ooh. Welcome. I was a little concerned there when I came online. I didn't see you. I says, well, where's Dawn? Is she?
Well, I think that as we navigate technology, it is a really good thing. It's a really good, it can be wonderful. And it can have so many glitches that it makes you stop and pause. And I don't know about everyone else, but I know for me, when technology starts doing whatever it's doing, I have to step away from it and allow it to adjust to my energy, because I'm not really adjusting my energy to it, right? But the frequencies, sometimes my frequency is so high that my electronic equipment is like, hey, wait, what is this? Where is this coming from? And it starts doing all kinds of things that I'm like, okay, let me just step away from it. Let me let it adjust itself. Because my frequency is going to be, and my frequency, like yours, it's just off the chain today. And this is the first time that I've done the where I've sat here and engaged on this podcast from my Reiki room. And so it's like there's a lot of energy going around in here. It's a lot of things going on, but it feels really good. And I am, when I say I'm ready, I'm as my grandson tells me when he's going to play basketball, I'm ready, Nani. I'm ready.
So today is the 25th. Is that correct? Is that what they call it?
It is the 25th.
So let's do the math on today so we can see the vibration of the day. So what we do is we take the month. This is the 4th month. Is that correct?
It is correct.
I got to check in because my calendars and watches are, and I'm still in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? So I live there. I'm not leaving the 70s. Okay. All right. So we take 4 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6. Is that right?
That would be correct.
Looks like that comes to 21. Let's check the math, because sometimes the subconscious pushes buttons that we didn't mean to push consciously. So we take the day, the entire date, and we add it up each individual digit. So 4 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals 21. Then we take 2 plus 1, and what do we get? 3. So today is a 21-3. So really it's 1, 2, 3. Okay. Did y'all get that? You get the mathematics? Okay. 1 is the beginning. 1 is about being here. And it's interesting because this is the be, do, have, right? Live stream. So 1 is about knowledge, the knowledge of being.
Mm-hmm.
The knowledge. 2 is about being wise about the knowledge and knowing what to do with the knowledge that you now have as 1. Right? 3 is about understanding, overstanding, understanding, and exostanding is really important. To exostand, have y'all heard of that? Exostand is when you stand outside yourself and look in as an observer. When you observe yourself from the outside. To exostand, exo means outside, is important because sometimes we're looking from the inside out about all of our stuff, and we're going to talk about that today. And you got all of your selfishness, self-isms that you are looking out into the world, and you are now projecting that onto the world. Sometimes it's not about what's happening. It's about what you think is happening based on your inner world projected out.
Right.
That was pretty deep. The inner world projected out. Somebody write that down. Your inner world projected out. Butterfly kiss. Are you there? I see her. Yes.
Yes, she is.
Please put that in there. We got several people who are helping out, but we know Butterfly Kiss is going to be there.
She is. Butterfly Kiss is on it, like always.
She's on it. She's been on it for about 10 years now, maybe more. She's been here. And all of you who have been here, thank you. I see old folks. Hey, question. Today is a 3. So it's about getting a new understanding, a new outlook on everything. A new outlook, a new overlook.
On everything.
On everything. And the today's subject is psychic pathogens, and that plays right into this. Whew.
In a wonderful way.
Yes. So each day, if you wake up and you look at the numbers of the day and you learn the system, you can know exactly what the natural flow of the world is. Dawn, is that you? Dawn is pushing buttons in the background. The co-host. I'm still getting used to this co-host thing where things are happening that I didn't do. Whoa. She found a button. Where's that button, Dawn? You got to show me. Show me. Allow me to learn something new.
When you scroll over the comments, you can click the button and then you can show that comment.
Okay. I wonder if we're doing that mentally in our lives. Deciding what comments we should show.
Woo! What comments should you? That's so when you think about what comments should you show and what comments should you allow to even have energy. You know, it's so easy to cancel, cut, clear, delete when you say something that you no longer want to have to have a vibration in the energetic field. But think about that if you did that with the comments that you didn't want to show.
Some of those comments are flying like comets.
Right.
Comments. Because when you see a comment, they say that means extreme change is happening in your world. When you see a comment. And what's interesting, there have been times when I saw a comet or a ship or a vehicle or even, I saw Winnie the Pooh one time in the clouds, right? And I was telling everybody, look at Winnie the Pooh. Can you see it? They're like, no, Dr. B, we don't say that. And nobody sees it. And then one person sees it, right? Then the other people feel funny about not seeing it. Then all of a sudden they fake it and say, I see it, but you don't see it because no one sees the same thing. Keep this in mind. This is important. No one tastes the same thing. An orange does not taste the same to everybody. You know it because there's some people who do not in any way like oranges. So you might say, we all understand what love means. We don't. Everybody has their own concept, their own feelings. Their nervous system is unique. It's just like your fingerprint. Mm-hmm. Once we realize that we're unique in our vision, what we're hearing, what we're feeling, what we're experiencing is totally unique. And everybody else is not going to get it. And it is not your job to make other people get it. So I kept my Winnie the Pooh. And then I started looking at Winnie the Pooh and I realized that, wow, why did I see Winnie the Pooh in the clouds? Because Winnie the Pooh is one of the few cartoons that's metaphysical. And if you just listen to the stories and what Winnie is saying, you will win. It
Winnie
is
is deep, right?
yes, Winnie the Pooh. Okay, there's some stuff out there. See, cartoons, ka has to do with spirit. Tunes is songs. So when you talk about cartoons, it's about traveling, right, in a vehicle, which is your spirit, and having the right tuning and being able to tune in. And you got to know what you're tuned up for and what you're tuned in for. You can't get, all of a sudden you're changing your radio station because everybody else is doing something or believing something or getting involved. And that has a lot to do with fashion. So if you look at fashion is the word comes from fascism. Who decides what is the color of the year? Who's these people Pantone who decide the color of the year and everybody else just follows like sheep? Who decides what the hairstyles or what clothes or what words or what things are agreeable? Who is standardizing the world?
Right.
And to be really successful, you must be like Dawn Osborne and step out of the world, because Dawn does not move in any circles other than her own, and her circles are amazing. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you, Dr. B. And there's one thing that you said to me years ago. You said you are, every time I look up, what you're doing has changed. And it hasn't necessarily changed, but I'm constantly in flow, right? I've been writing grants for 30 years. How I do it and strategically how I align myself, it is constantly moving, just like a business plan is a living and breathing document. And if you didn't learn anything else during the global shutdown, you learned that you had to always be able to pivot. If you were stuck in one business model and you couldn't pivot, you essentially felt lost, and then you were lost. And how many businesses shut down because they didn't have a living model that could pivot during a time where the whole world was transitioning? And we're kind of living in that now. Like the whole world is trying to figure out what's going on, and you have wars and you have all these different things. You keep your head on the swivel. You need to always be able to pivot. Your business model should be able to pivot, where you've got a strategic plan that says, this is where we are today, and these are our other options. Because your pivot needs to be instant. You need to be able to pivot and flow. I like that. Pivot and flow, right?
Write that down. Pivot.
Yeah, I feel him coming on, Dr.
And
B.
flow.
And flow, right? Because that pivot and flow is essential to your survival as a business, right? And so businesses are only products and services. What is your business, your product, your service? And can you pivot and flow, right? That's essential, right? I mean, it's almost, and it's funny because there's someone there starting tapping and hearing the hearts beating and feeling that beat. But that's the same thing that goes with the drum. It's a pivot, it's a flow, right? And it awakens so much in you that you can sit and listen to that drum. And if you need to pivot while you're in that energy, the pivot will happen in flow.
Now, what you're saying is really deep, because you write grants and it just hit me. We're all receiving or deflecting grants from the universe. A grant is when some group of people give you something to help support what you're doing because they believe or they're in alignment with what you are offering. Is that right?
Yes.
So we are a business. Each of us individually are businesses. In fact, your social security number and all of that stuff has been, I don't want to get too deep, but our whole thing, even when your name in capital letters says that somebody is benefiting from you off of your energy, right?
Right.
And I don't want to get too deep on that because I can go off on that all day, but we'll stay away from that. But just think about that. You are a business. Somebody created a business, the state, whether it's the country or your family, created a busyness out of you. The thing is have you looked at yourself as a busyness? And what you desire out of life, what you're moving towards, right, is accepting grants. There are grants out there like breath, breathing air could be like a grant. You were granted breath today. So if we look at the thing where you help people get grants, let's look at that as the person themselves being a business dog. Can you talk about that a little bit?
And so, one, the founder of that business is the business. That's the initiator of the concept, bringing it to fruition, right? Because I always say when I'm teaching business and business strategies that you have to think in ink, right? And so as you develop that as that founder, it is an individual that brings the concept and breathes life into it, right? So that's what you're doing. You're taking this concept. I want to have a cannabis shop. I think I'm going to delve into the cannabis world, and I'm going to pick one of the 4 areas that you can do in the cannabis world, and I'm going to be a retailer. And as I decide I'm going to be a retailer, my store is going to look like this, and this. Thinking in ink is everything, because everything starts from a concept, which then that becomes a drawing. And if you look at an architect, they start with the end in mind, because there's a full model developed to show what it's going to look like when it's done. So when you're thinking in ink and you start that etching and you get to that space, you should have a completed model like an architect, so that you have the blueprint and the model and you know where you're going. So in the event that you find that now these windows are no longer available, you can pivot, because you are creating in flow. You can pivot, change the models out, the windows out, but you already know the dimensions. So you pivot in stride. I just need to change the windows, but the measurement is going to be the same. I just need another vendor, and instead of them opening side to side, they're going to open up and down, but they need to have the same exact measurement. It takes something that could have been a daunting task, and you just push a button. You're just redirecting it because you pivot in flow, right? And so I like what you said, Lejeune. I think that I pronounced that right. We're granted access to business opportunities, right? The one thing is that when you think of money, and I am a money magnet, money comes to me consistently, and abundantly, and easily. So consistently, abundantly, and easily. That's how money flows in my reality. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And that's the only way I'll have it. So money is everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. There's a plethora of money available. People just are afraid to access it. And so when I'm doing seminars and I'm teaching and I ask someone, how much money do you need? Do you know how many people pause and they don't know how to say how much money they actually need? If you have an investor sitting in front of you and they ask you how much money you need, and you pause, and then you throw out some random number, they're gonna wonder if you know how much money you need and if you're asking for enough for the project to be successful. Why would you want to under ask? I always say, if you're giving money from an investor and there's a return on their investment, put that money aside and pay them back with their own money. Start paying them with their own money. So then you're never under stress as it moves to meeting what your obligation, and then your project can grow and get to that point, right? And so there's just so many small things that you can do to keep yourself in flow. I always tell people, do not get rid of your temporary investor when you're getting ready to start a business until you're absolutely ready. And you know who the temporary investor is? That JOB. So if you change them from being your employer and a JOB, label them as your temporary investor, then it changes the dynamic in which you even feel about still going to this job.
Please slow down.
Sorry, I'm so in flow this morning.
Dawn.
Hopefully
The
it was helpful.
beginning of the day, Dawn. Okay, I think what
And it's
just
only 8 o'clock in California.
I think the tea in the product focus, I took some focus and it caused my microdose. I'm telling y'all right now, the microdose today is not a microdose. It's a macrodose.
Because of focus?
Focus takes whatever you're doing and it pinpoints it towards a project. What is your goal? Where are you going? You just said it, Dawn. You need to first be the founder. Never mind, the government owns this on me and they did this with my social security number. That's nice. That's cool. That's fun.
Right.
You got to be socially secure within yourself and write a new contract. A contract. What are you contracting? What are you writing? Are you thinking in ink about your life? Huh? Are you writing it down? Who are you? Write it down. Never mind what they did. Get out of the victim mindset because you're just going to go down with the rest of the ship. Okay. Let the ship go. Okay. And what is your contract? So when you think in ink, when you write down 3 goals or 1 goal, where are you going? You're a ship owner. You're a CEO. Where are you going? How much do you desire from the universe to be granted to you so that your business can move towards what? Manifestation or do whatever it is you're here to do. Your project, right, is what you're projecting. Your project is what you're projecting. Now, you could live in the projects. Mentally, a lot of folks live in the projects. They left the projects, right? But they still live in the project. You could take someone out the projects, but they're still projecting back on the projects that they came from, which was a project that was not yours. So imagine you being the founder of your project. Today, this is about you creating your project and projecting it and writing it down, thinking in ink and having a contract and a contact with who you really are so you can be the founder and grants will come from the universe.
You know, it's so powerful. When let's just say this year, in 2026, we're in April, and I've gotten about maybe $12 million worth of funding approved this year, give or take, like about 12 million. And that's a slow year because last year by this time I had about 39 million, but it was because we had a funding pool that we applied for and almost everything we submitted for every client hit. And so money comes so easily. There's so much of it. I have a book called The Foundation Directory, and there are literally thousands of private foundations that are just there to give away money to nonprofit organizations. And they're not giving away their principal, they're giving away their interest. So their ability to give away the money never changes. Old money doesn't live like new money. Old money is there, and they're set up to continue to give it away because that's how that system is built. The problem is we're not asking for it. Or when we do ask for it, we're not positioned to ask the way they tell you exactly how to ask for their money. But you're not listening and you're not paying attention, right? And so you can get in touch with me at dawn@elevationtime.com. I see people saying I need to get in touch with Dawn. Dawn@elevationtime.com. But
Dawn.
Yes.
Please. We got to take micro doses of this, okay? Because I already know.
And I haven't even had a microdose today. I didn't take my iron today.
I am the microdose. I did 1 macrodose at one point, and from that day on, there's been microdoses of that macrodose every single day. You just mentioned, we're going to have to do a part 2 on this because we're talking about psychic pathogens. People are like, well, how are they getting there? Oh, we're going there.
We're already there.
Deep. It's about busyness. Business is busyness. You mentioned that there's a funding pool in the universe. Take the business thing and the business words and apply them to yourself. There's a funding pool of energy happening in the quantum field. Everything is in the quantum field, but you've got to do what we call wave casting, cast your idea, your contract that you've written in ink daily into the funding pool, right? Project it. Then you mention interest. What are you talking about? What are you interested in? What plays out in your mind every day? What are you focusing on? Because that's what the busyness, right, is doing or being based on what you're focusing on. It can be something that moves towards you or eats you. What is eating you?
And what are you allowing? I allow.
Woo!
I allow, right? So as I call into existence, I'll give you an example. I have been for some 20 years absolutely the best funding infuser into everyone else's business. It's what I do. I come in, I work with you, and I raise millions and millions of dollars for you. I come in, I drop some money, and I move on. People are like, no, don't go anywhere. I come in and money comes. Wherever I go, money follows. It just happens that way. What I do, one thing that the space I absolutely live in is I allow, first of all, and I'm being very intentional with my words because I want you guys to understand how important it is to speak only what you want and remove the knots from your language, right? We don't speak in knots. And being in a space where we are speaking only what we desire, and we are leaving out the word not. And it's really a challenge to remove the word not from your language, because what I was going to say is we are not saying what we don't want, right? And so and to change, we're not saying what we don't want to, we're only speaking what we desire is fluid. Like I'm being fluid in this space where I am only speaking what I desire. And as I'm teaching you to remove knots, I'm consciously speaking without them. Because when you speak and you use the word knots, you're tying your language in knots, and you are blocking your flow. Money
So
flow
knot is a knot, like a knot in a rope.
That's what it does in your subconscious mind, right?
Ties you down.
It ties you down. And so as we talk about as we speak on psychic pathogens, and we'll get to chapter 14, you have to speak in flow. I'm going to let that land.
Dawn. They're talking, you know. I didn't do something today that I do before I usually present. I was told by one of my guides once, one of my consultants. We have several consultants that we work with. Mm-hmm. And she said to me, when I did God Power 1, every one of my guides and ancestors were in my head. And I'm a channeler. I didn't try to be a channeler. I didn't go to Channeler University for university. They got places they usually in Utah or Arizona go to learn to be a channeler. You know, they got a course. You get a certificate, a 12-week certificate of completion. Well, now you're a certified channeler. I didn't go to any courses, okay? I am channeling and have been channeling, and that's what they were calling when I was a child. They said he was dyslexic, he was retarded. They didn't say that loud. They said that quiet. He's a little retarded. Actually, I was advanced. You know what I'm saying? They was retarded. I was reading forward. They was reading backwards. You're dyslexic because you can't see the real words on the page.
Right.
I'm seeing in between the words and in between this thing they call English. It's a whole lot of stuff in between, and every letter right in this language is a whole dictionary, a whole encyclopedia, every language, every letter. So I was seeing all that, and I was hearing all these voices in my head, and they make you think you're crazy if you're hearing voices. Well, you need to be hearing some voices, because if all you hear is your own voice, you're in trouble. You need guides. We need counselors. So the counselor told me, Dr. B, you looked like you, because at the end of God Power 1, I broke down crying right on the screen. If you ever go check it out, because I had never had so many beings coming through me that decided that they wanted to talk, because we had 10,000 people online all over the world for that, God Power 1. And everybody had something to say, and they wanted to come through me, and I didn't know how to control it. So she said, well, Dr. B, next time you present, all you need to do is tell all of them not to come and pick one. Only allow one of them to speak through you. Okay. So I am going to do this now. And I'm going to be very strategic in how I do it. I'm going to be very careful in how I say this, and I'm going to blow your mind. And Dawn, I know you and Vashti are probably going to scream and say, Dr. B, you're not supposed to do this. I'm going to do it because the macro dose is on. Are you ready? I would like to create a course. Dawn Osborne and Dr. B are doing a course on how to get a business grant. But this is an expanded course that has to do with you and your life being a business. So part of it is for those of you who would like to start a business or have a business and would like to get more funding. The other part about you, another part is you have a business called you, which if you get out of the psychic pathogens and stop allowing the mental parasites to eat you alive, you could be getting grants from all over. Now, Dawn, I know you may say we need to. You and Vashti be talking about how we got to plan it out. I think I'd like to do this quick. How many people out there listening right now would like to be a part of this course? And you're going to need to invest. So don't start the, poor, broken, lonely thing. We are ready to teach something that actually it started today. I saw it. It's all coming clear.
Right. Absolutely.
Everybody wants more money. Everybody, even the rich. I'm talking to the dude. He was a billionaire. He said, I don't have enough money. I've only got 1 billion. I had 5. He was worried. The guy cried in my office. I'm sitting there. I don't know what to do. In fact, I had to leave the room for a while. What do I tell this guy? He's upset because the shutdown took him from 5 billion to 1, and he don't know how he's going to live. I'm like,
because he wasn't prepared to pivot.
I don't even know how to spell a billion.
Pivot in flow. And so being able to, I always tell people, I'm going to meet you right where you are. And so as Dr. B says, we're going to be taking you as the business. That's exactly what we do. We meet you where you are, and we show you how to get where you want to be. That's the gift. Meeting you where you are and giving you the tools and making the guidance available for you to get to exactly where you want to be. Because sometimes you're stuck in being stuck.
Dawn.
Yes.
I don't know if Vashti's watching, but I know I'm in trouble. But this is good trouble. How many of you out there right now would like to take this course that's being created right now that has to do with grants and business and you and how it relates to your conscious, your subconscious, and moving you forward so that you can get more currency, to be more current and see what's right in front of you? Currency has to do with being present and seeing and opening up a place where you're available to allow yourself, right, to get in contract and contrast so that you can create whatever you like. If you would like to be in this class, because we can develop this really quickly because we actually got it.
Right.
We've had it for years. Dawn, give them your email again. If you would like to do that, this is before you even give out the email. This is the way you're going to do it. When you write the email, you're going to write at least 2 paragraphs of why you would like to or need to or are choosing to be in this class. Don't just say, I want to be in the class. No, you need to write why. And this is your own why. Your why in life is very important. Your what, we know what. Why are you doing what you're doing? What will you do with your new self, your new energy, or your new finances? Whatever it is, put that in the email and send that to Dawn. And we may get this going really quickly. Like, I don't know, maybe within a month. It depends on how quickly we can develop this. Actually, it's developed. And we'll let you know how you can apply to be a part of this course. Is that okay, Dawn? Am I going too far?
That's absolutely okay. It's dawn@elevationtime.com. And Butterfly Kisses, if you put it up there, I will just have it shown on the thing. So it's dawn@butterflykisses.com. You're going to write 2 paragraphs in this email why you desire to be in the course. So you're going to send that email to dawn@elevationtime.com.
Now, Scholar at 1435. That's a great idea. Can we get tinctures and parasite cleansers included with the course? You're going to have to. Because if you've got mental, physical, and spiritual parasites eating you alive, then you're being devoured, and everything we teach is just going to go out like the rest of these classes and the rest of this knowledge that you're learning and all your books, and it's just going to be intellectual trash. So you're going to
I feel like I'm in church. I have a testimony. I want to tell you guys something. My glasses are just cute. I don't need them. I've been doing the cleanse. And today I had a different pair of glasses. I had black glasses that I was going to wear to match this shirt. And I left them at home because I'm walking around and I don't need them to see. The cleanse, and I was talking to Vashti about, I can see better now taking this cleanse. Vashti said, well, what's happened is the circulation of your blood has gotten better, and all of the tiny blood vessels that go to your eyes, they've all been strengthened, and you don't need the glasses to see. I keep leaving my glasses at home because I see better doing the cleanse. My eyesight has improved doing this cleanse. And so as you ask if we're going to, do we need to have the parasite cleanse and the tinctures available during this course? I am on fire. When I tell you I am on fire, I submitted 2 grants, full proposals that I wrote in about 3 hours for 2 different agencies. I submitted for 2 different agencies in 3 hours yesterday. And yes, I'm good. I will tell you, I am good. I'm good at what I do. I've been doing it for 30 years. The level of creativity, of function, of clarity, of ease and grace that I am experiencing takes my regular being on fire to a whole nother level since I have been doing this cleanse. All I can tell you is when I get my drum, watch out.
Somebody's asking a question. I'm getting questions from the website and from the internet. Let's just, for now, this is just a placeholder, okay, for the class. Right. We're going to call it our personal business management and acquisition course. Personal business and acquisition. Personal business management and
funding acquisition. Funding acquisition. Because it's about funding, and funding comes whether you're getting grants, you're getting loans, you're creating funnels by which your funding can just flow in just from your product itself or your service itself, because we don't always need grants and loans. But one of the things that's so very important is to get out of your own way. People are like, I need to do this and I need to do this. And the first thing I say is, don't walk away from your current source of income before you have a real plan. I'm just going to walk out on faith. The worst thing that I've seen in people walking out on faith is they put themselves in a position where they have to struggle, then they can't focus on building. It's very hard to build while you're struggling. And so I'm all about building with ease and grace. No sense in putting yourself in a position where you have to stress while you're trying to build and create. Stress takes away from your ability to create in flow. So I'll show you how to do that, how to build the plan, how to think and ink, create a viable strategy. People create strategies and ideas all the time, but they don't implement, right? And so going back to my initials, you have to do something. You've got to do it. Thinking in ink is great, but don't get stuck with looking at this thing and feeling overwhelmed because it's bigger than you. My auntie used to tell me anything that God gives you is going to be bigger than what you can perceive on your own. So yes, it's supposed to be bigger than you. Because if it's just where you are now and it seems easy where you are now, but it's not bigger than you, then what are you building? Because you should be able to see 3 to 5 years out. And if you see 3 to 5 years out and it's not bigger than where you are now, then you need to look at something else.
All right. I just actually copywrote the name. You see me typing over here?
I see you.
The name is there. So the class has been created. This may happen really quickly. It doesn't take a lot of time for us to do this. Dawn is going to teach the business side tied into the spirituality of it. I'm going to talk about the subconscious programming and release techniques to get rid of the parasites that might fight against your business, because that's what happens with most of us in business, because we grew up in many times under what we call oppression. We have an oppression mindset, and that's oppressing us down.
They're asking for the email. Everyone's asking for the email. Butterfly Kisses, can you put it up there? It's dawn@elevationtime.com.
Yeah. So this is for folks who are looking to have more energy, more life force, more love, more peace, more cash, more homes, places to go where we are traveling through the universe in a way that has never existed before. Let me see. Let's hide the comment. So please, if you're going to need to do this quickly, because we're going to have a limited amount of people that are going to be able to be involved in this. So if you've got friends and family that would like to be involved, you can talk to them, and we'll get more into this. And Butterfly Kiss, we have a special task for you. We'll talk about that later on, and we're going to look for a couple people who are going to help put this together and make this happen. So but get your emails together, and in that email needs to be at least a paragraph or two of why you should be involved in this. So if you're strictly in business, right, that business is not just strictly, let's say you got an ice cream company, you got a vegan ice cream company, it's tied to you, and that business mirrors you. But if you're dealing with psychic pathogens, then the business of ice cream is infused with Eunice. Who? Eunice. You understand what I'm saying? Eunice. I had an aunt named Eunice. Oh, Eunice.
But it wasn't spelled like that, like capital Y-O-U.
Call Eunice. So this is a time when you see all this turmoil happening in the world, it's a gate open. There's windows open.
Yes.
The storms, when they come, there's a place in the eye of the storm where the sun is out, birds are tweeting, flowers are flowering. Flowers are flowering. So this is the time to move forward, and we're going to create this. This just came about today, and today this is the macro dose of. Yes. So let me do this.
The email is there.
Okay.
on the screen. It's Dawn at elevationtime.com. Understand this, Dr. B, as you were talking about your macrodose, it's wonderful. And as you were talking about people don't see the same thing at the same time, right? Like, no two people see the same exact thing. I can tell you, while I was dosing with friends, I don't know if it was macro, I mean, it wasn't micro. And while shape-shifting was going on, they saw the same thing at the same time and described it absolutely the same while they were dosing. It was a little bit of a macro dose, but it's amazing. The spirit is amazing. I'm ready to write a book. I got a whole book coming through.
See, write that down. And you know, your government just did something really quickly, just in the last week. They took ibogaine or iboga. Iboga is a plant used in West Africa that helps people get rid of all habits, whether it's drugs, cigarettes, doing too much of nothing. That's a habit. Doing too much of nothing. Focusing, making little things big. What do you call that? Focusing on the taking the micro and making it macro. Mm-hmm. So they just made it where herbs or plants like iboga can be used in experimental. They haven't made it totally legal yet.
Right.
But, my teacher, Dr. Kweku Ando, is the man who introduced the United States to this plant iboga. And he's a scientist. So he worked with Jimmy Carter and, he was a part of the, the government situation. And this iboga, when people took it, they were off heroin and any other thing they were hooked on, eating bad habits within 3 to 7 days. And they never returned. So they were going to use it in America because there was such a heroin issue going on. Mm-hmm. And it worked. So they created a medicine. They took it and figured out the active constituents. You know how they do. Let's get rid of the plant and get down to something we can patent. And they have something called ibogaine. Ibogaine is different than iboga because iboga is connected to the earth, to the essence of the cosmos. And they created this drug. Well, now they're saying that we can do more research on it, but they shut it down in the 60s because it worked too well. And it was going to get rid of the heroin problem in America. And politicians said, no, we're getting voted because we're fighting drugs. The war on drugs. Think about that. The war on drugs. This is a war on people. So they need people to be hooked on stuff.
So they can show that they're doing something to make a change.
Look what I did. We put 12 drug heads in the jail. What does that do? And, so anyway, also they took marijuana and took it out of the category it was in and put it in another category, a lower category. So these things are actually coming to the surface. So we're going to be talking about this even more because there's another project we're going to be offering soon. I don't want to give that one away that Dawn and I are working on. And somebody asked in a comment, they said, well, who is this Vashti? Let me just get that clear really quick. Who is this Vashti? Vashti is the person who 23 years ago started what the Elevation Foundation for Abundant Life and elevationtime.com are all one. She is actually the person in the background who created this. She's not the type of person to come on screen and to be talking, but she's back there making sure that things flow correctly. And a lot of this is based on her ideas and her projections that she created many years ago. So that's who that is. She is basically the CEO and the COO, and she sees everything we're doing sometimes. Anyway, so
how about that? I put it under my name just so that you guys, because people keep asking, where's the email? There it is, right under my name.
Good. There we go. Look at that. How'd you do that, Don? How do you do this? How? So for those of you who are just tuning in, this is the Be Do Have live stream with Dr. B and Dawn Osborne. That's the do. And we're helping people have what it is they desire. That means to manifest what you desire. So we have a series of these that are up online right now. If you just go to YouTube and become a member or sign in or subscribe or whatever they call it over there. And we're going to be taking this to the next level. So the course, if you'd like to be in this is a limited thing. So we're going to need to move quickly to make this happen because it's already traveling through the universe. Any of your ideas and thoughts are traveling through the universe at 770 billion miles per second. That's how fast thought travels. So each thing you think, if you say something or you think something and it's not what you desire, you got to snatch it back quick. What they call it, a 7-second rule. If it falls on the ground, and all you got to do is say cancel, cut, delete, and clear. If you're sending something out that you no longer would like to let go out, because you hear it sometimes, you let it out and it's like, oh my God, that was like a fart. It was gas. You got to cut it quick. Cancel, cut, delete, and clear. And we'll talk about that in the class.
We will talk about that in class. There's some really, really good, powerful things that you just said, Dr. B, though. And in this space that we are in, I have a friend, and he always wants to talk about how broke he is. And I said, I think you need to put in the past right before that statement. If you just have a statement that you think needs to be said because you're sharing something with someone, put in the past before it. And then it changes the way your subconscious mind receives it. It changes the energy that it carries as you put it out into the universe, because everything you release, it just floats. It has energy and it just continues to float and circulate. So you need to consciously and intentionally release the things that you release. As I say, I'm a money magnet, and money is easy. It comes in flows. It comes in abundance. And it consistently flows in abundance with ease and grace. That's my relationship with money. It consistently flows with ease and grace. That statement keeps me in a consistent flow that is easy and comes with ease and grace when it comes to money.
So how much would you invest is the question.
Well, and people are asking how long would the course be?
We're going to give
our courses are typically 2 to 4 hours as we're putting this together, and as we see the number of people and what the needs are. This was an offering that was just presented. It's going to be somewhere between 2 and 4 hours. We will be sending out an email that outlines all of it to everyone that has sent an email in saying that they are interested in the class. And so Dr. B sprung this on us. And so he sprung it on us in spring, right? He's just in springtime and things are springing up. And so
Mayflower, April showers bring May flowers.
Right. So it sprung in April. It's one of those showers and it will flower in May, and we'll move right along in this energy. And it will be between 2 and 4 hours. We haven't set an exact amount of time. It will completely be a blessing, and there will be opportunities in the class where there will be breakout rooms where you'll be able to have those one-on-ones. And so depending as we format what it looks like, we could say 2 hours, but if I'm going to put a couple of breakout sessions there where you'll be able to really develop and create, and this will be the online portion, and we probably should do this in person so that you really could have breakouts and really go into different rooms and really hammer things out. And it may be that we're launching an academy, a manifestation academy, the Ascension Manifestation Academy. I don't know where this is going, and I'm in flow, and so it will be what it's supposed to be.
We do have a whole academy online. I don't want to say the name right now. We created many years ago, and it's sitting there waiting for us to put something in that container. So we do have an academy here, and a lot of times when folks are looking at purchasing from the website or being a part of things, and if they say the money is the issue, we're going to make it where money will never ever be an issue again, because the money is not the issue, it's the value. If I said right now, some people say, well, it's very expensive to buy blah, blah, blah. I said, well, there's a pot of gold in Washington, D.C., and we're all going to go. How much would it be worth for you to invest in this pot of gold? This is a pot of gold. So
and the first one will be online. There are questions about the first one. The first one will be online, but it is going to be something we are going to take live and have it live and in person, because the benefit of it, like I plan on creating a self-hypnosis that Dr. B will put with the drum, where you will be able to listen to this with having the things required to keep you in that mindset where they will continually be able to drop in. So I will write a self-hypnosis thing that self-hypnosis that will be, the drum will be behind, where you can play that, and when that lands, it's going to be something else. It doesn't matter whether you use a capital or lowercase d with the email. It's going to come regardless. But we are putting things in this package that will not only shift and direct you, because you're thinking in ink and the tools are there, and we're taking away those mental blockages through the nervous system resets that you will be engaged in, right? Because the problem with most of you is that your nervous system won't allow you to be in flow. So we've got to reset your nervous system.
So let's just go over this really quickly before we go to the next section. We all need to learn to pivot and flow.
Yes.
And become the founder of our business, our busyness. We need to have a contract with ourselves, for ourselves, and a contract that says who we are, what we're projecting. We need to learn what and how to look at interest and grants and the funding pool. This has got to do with health. You could be ill right now and need this same bit. It's all the same business. And the concept of how business works is based on how people are. Even and computers.
We will walk you through canceling, cutting, clearing, and deleting old contracts that are in the way of you moving forward. Because you guys got luggage, you got baggage, you carry walking through. I need to have this with you. Let that go.
Because most of the baggage you carry. I was at the airport and they say, well, don't let anybody give you anything that's not yours or something they say. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the cashier. Did you get everything you needed today? I mean, if it's 20 people in line, you're going to ask me that now. If I say, no, I forgot something. What do you want me to do? Leave this stuff here, go get it, and wait the line, wait. We must step forward by having our business plan, whether it's health, wealth, your love life, your friendships, and in all walks of life, we are creating a business plan. How many of y'all want to be down? Right now, a show of hands. How many people would like to be down so that we can get up? That's pretty good right there. Be down.
How many of y'all want to be down so we can get up? Get on up.
Get on up. Chapter 14 of the book.
Chapter 14
What's
of the
eating
book.
You? What's eating you, y'all? What is eating away your business plan? What luggage are you carrying that is some old broken down stuff, hand-me-downs that you're carrying, which is creating your outcome? Your income has to do with your outcome. Change your income, change your outcome, change your outcome, change your income. But if we are being eaten by psychic pathogens, that's something we are going to have to realize so that Dawn and I can help clear your launch pad for your rocket to rise. And, this is going on. The people who are aware know that 2026 is that year. This is the one. Don't let the doom and gloom and all that stuff and how they went to the moon, but they didn't. Don't let that mess with you. It's your ship.
And if you're interested in this personal business management and funding acquisition course, one of the things that you'll be doing is sending an email to Dawn at elevationtime.com. In addition to that, you're going to write 2 paragraphs about why you want to be in this course. Um, the shift, and I think I'm gonna read the first part of the chapter 14, the psychic pathogens. I allow. I just love my shirt.
That is tight.
So it starts on page 144. So if you have your book, What's Eating You, there we go. There's What's Eating You. Please read along with us. Get your book out so you can take notes. What usually happens, if you haven't joined us, as I read, things land, and then we will expound in the moment. So if you have your book handy, you'll be able to catch or capture, and you can always go back and rewatch the video. But being in the moment and highlighting and doing the things that you need to do and writing your notes and all of that is so helpful because you get to see where you were in that moment. So I'm going to start with chapter 14, Psychic Pathogens. In the book, The Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz uses a metaphor of a parasite, not literally, to describe the inner forces of beliefs, fears, and judgments that drain us of life, joy, and personal power. Parasites exist on multiple levels of the human experience. Non-physical parasites such as inherited dogmas, fear-based thinking, cultural conditioning, limiting beliefs, and disagreeable thought patterns shape us at the deepest levels. These are the enemies within that feed on fear and rob us of our best selves. These unseen attachments act like vampires, siphoning off life force energy and disconnecting us from our true identity. Mental parasites consist of unresolved feelings, disagreeable experiences, emotional suffering, and traumatic memories that consume the mind. Even though these issues originated in the past, they replay whenever triggered by events with similar attributes. It could be colors, smells, sounds, holidays, names, places, almost anything that remind us consciously or subconsciously. Feelings like anger, fear, anger, rage, sadness, worry, grief, worthlessness, and shame hijack our emotions. For some, a single event may activate this parasite. For others, it operates daily, quietly, keeping them from reaching their highest potential. Whew. I I don't even know where to put what point to put a pin in. You can purchase the book online at elevationtime.com. The I Allow t-shirts are sold out, but we're going to be making some more. And this cotton is unbelievable. It's not just a regular t-shirt. Like it's a t-shirt, but it feels so good.
You know, most people's t-shirts and fabrics are eating them because they got
Absolutely.
polyester and man-made ingredients, chemicals. They're wearing them, which
Right.
is triggering their subconscious. And we'll get to that in just a moment. So, Dawn.
The archaic, rarely used definition of suffering is tolerance. To tolerate is to allow the existence or practice of something you may not like or agree with without interference. We were taught that tolerance was a virtue, but long term chronic tolerance leads to complacency, just going along to get along.
Mm.
Whew! Wait. Long term chronic tolerance leads to complacency, just going along to get along. That's deep.
We were
Whew.
taught this thing about tolerance. They taught us that in school. Tolerance. We got to be
And
careful with that one.
you do. Who or what benefits from a culture built on suffering and tolerance? Mm. There's a Buddhist concept called the realm of hungry ghost. May take on that is this disagreeable feelings and unresolved emotions from the past constantly haunt us. They should be dead and buried, yet their energy lingers. Whew. That's why I was talking about removing blockages that keep you plateauing. when we go into this class, are you constantly plateauing? Are you getting to a level and you're never able to go beyond that because you've got this old baggage weighing you down? And we're going to teach you how to not only put that baggage down, but through some of the techniques that Dr. B uses, you go down into the basement and you set those suckers on fire. You get rid of them, you relieve them, you blow them up. They're no longer necessary, and so you let go of everything that's no longer serving you. Okay, I'm going to get back to the book. Whew. All right,
it's all right now.
Here we go. These memories act like ghosts that feed on our energy, eating us alive day by day and leaving behind mental scar tissue. This pattern often begins early in early adulthood. The human brain isn't fully developed until the age of around 25, meaning many life-defining decisions, ideas, conclusions, and beliefs were made before our minds were even complete. Think about that.
That's a message from the universe. The universe says, whoa, the bell done rung on that one. Think about that. Think about that. The pattern often begins in early adulthood. The human brain isn't fully developed till around the age 25. Now, you've been kicked out the house and everything by that time, or you left. Meaning many life-defining decisions, ideas, conclusions, and beliefs were made before our minds were even complete.
Right.
So, can we just stay with that for a minute? How many?
Before our minds were even complete?
Yes.
And I think it goes twofold, right? Because when I very first read the 4 Agreements, it made me think about my parenting. But when I'm going into this as I'm what's coming from what's eating you, it goes even further than just thinking about my parenting, right? Because now it's my cousins, we have a group chat, and they were talking about when do you stop parenting your adult children, right? What are you always parenting your adult children? When do you stop parenting yourself? Because when you think about early adulthood, right, and you think about your human brain that's not fully developed until the age of 25, a little less now because everything is what it is. But how many of us were out the door at 18 because we just couldn't wait to be grown? I'm leaving, I'm 18, I can go, I can do. And you weren't even, your brain wasn't even fully developed.
Even the concept of choosing your career. What are you going to be when you grow up? They ask a child this. I don't even have all my brain cells yet. And you want me to make a choice about something that I might have if I get most people's brains never totally develop because during the developmental stage, they've been programmed with so much trash.
Right.
Parasitic thoughts, activities, feelings, emotions. You had to choose your religion, choose your political standpoint, and choose your friends. You choose. Some people got married. How many of you got married or hooked up with somebody or had children before 25 when your brain, your central processing unit was not even operating on full yet?
Not operating on full. There's still parts of your brain that are developing and you're making concrete decisions.
Is this right here is huge. So a lot of folks get angry because they talk about all the things that happen. I said, well, first you got to give yourself some grace because you were forced in this particular world or this particular, whatever you grew up in, to choose some things and make choices that didn't totally make sense yet. So you don't have the sense you were born with. You don't have all your senses you don't know much yet. In the Maasai community or the Maasai culture, you cannot raise a children. There we go, a children. You can only raise children if you're over 50. You can have the child. You can have the child as a teenager if you like. but you deliver the child to the elders for education and to learn how to be a successful person. You can only be taught by those 50 and above. How many of us were forced because of our culture to teach a child what we don't know yet?
I always told my children, look, I've never had a 16-year-old before. And I don't remember being responsible for a 16-year-old up until this point. So I'm learning in this space as we do this. So it may not be 100% right, but we're going to get it right. But I had to sit in the fact that this is new. And if I take a page from Miss Barbara's handbook, I don't know that I agree with everything that was in that handbook, right? But they don't, and I told my son, you didn't come with a handbook. I was explaining to my cousins that once upon a time we didn't have to, because we had this whole debate on parenting we have a group chat. And I said, once upon a time, we didn't have to worry about whether we were doing the right thing as parents, because we had elders standing by that guided us through the process. We had elders. It takes a village. The elders were there, a part of the process, raising the next generation of children. These 20-year-old mothers weren't responsible for doing it on their own because there was an elder right there. We've lost sight of that. When I was raising my son and he had a friend and his mother was doing things that I didn't necessarily understand, I realized that she had him when she was 16. So she had reached her saturation point, because when she was 17, she was busy being a mother. She wasn't being parented. So she didn't know what a parent would do for a 17-year-old because her mother wasn't treating her like that. So she had reached her saturation point in terms of what to do next with this next generation. Because elders, we're not tapping into our elders. I wrote a grant, and I'm in the process of looking at implementing this program where we have our youth, our challenged youth, our gang-involved youth, our youth that are wilding out. They have to go into the nursing homes, the skilled nursing facilities, and interact with our seniors. Why? Because Joey doesn't even know any seniors, because his mother was 14 when she had him. So his grandmother's only 14 years older than his mother. So in terms of getting senior wisdom, it's not existent in his paradigm because it's not there. There's no generational wisdom that he has access to. So we're taking him into the nursing homes. And one of the things I found when I did this one cohort ago, the bond that is created between these children that society is trying to call misfits and these seniors that don't have anybody visiting them is so beautiful. You've never seen anything like it, because it's two individuals that are missing a connection to a generation that breathes life. The seniors are receiving life from the youth, and the youth are receiving life and instruction from the seniors. We've got to mend that in our communities, because our youth now are not receiving the wisdom being transferred from the elders. And so when I read this, and it talks about a 25-year-old who's out in the world and their minds they weren't even complete. So when you say think about that, it landed on such an internal way.
You know, somebody is saying, I see it in there, it takes a village. Mm-hmm. The issue is that the village, right, is full of psychic pathogens. The village has parasites. So you can get all the people together and create your village, but you're going to have to filter out who is totally online. Are the people in your village, have they done the elevated total body program every season? Otherwise, they got parasites. Have they read the book, What's Eating You, over and over and over? Otherwise, they got parasites. Remember this. Mental parasites consist of unresolved feelings, disagreeable experiences, emotional suffering, and traumatic memories that consume the mind. Even though these issues originated in the past, they replay whenever triggered by events with similar attributes. It could be colors, smells, sounds, holidays, names, places, and almost anything that reminds us consciously or subconsciously. Stop for a second, full stop. When you talk about this village, today, most of the people have been tainted by social media, tainted by the news, tainted by politics, tainted by people who are basically traveling with a parasite called toxoplasma, which is affecting every choice they make. Almost every choice you make today is being affected by toxoplasma, a parasite. And no cloves and wormwood and pumpkin seeds and black walnut hulls and diatomaceous earth, none of them are going to touch toxoplasma that lives in your brain. So another thing about this, when you're looking for the village, because we're going to create the community right here online, we can create it. We're doing it with this class. Once you take this course of how to handle your business, you're going to pass this on to your children, to your family. You see, this thing that we're creating right now is the village. So now you can call in and say, and we'll create a social network, our own, where you can call in and talk about these things online to people who are all, who have cleared some of this stuff. The mental parasite piece is deep. If if you haven't looked at yourself as a business, and if you keep talking about what's wrong with the community and what we don't have today, we can't have it because you just projected that into the real world of your life, of your mindset. It does exist today. It's just not in the news. It's not on IG. It ain't on Facebook. It exists. Like I keep talking about how bad Black people have it, how bad Hispanics have it. How you are lying. Because there are so many very healthy, wealthy, and wise people who are not making it public. Because if you make it too public, you know what happens. The black helicopters come. Right. All of a sudden, your taxes get funny. All of a sudden, your social media disappears. So we've got to create these sacred networks, these secret, sacred networks. If you want to be down, then let's do this. But it starts with being a part of this course. It starts with reading this book. What's Eating You? Somebody called and told me, yeah, I read the whole book last night. I said, well, what does it say? Well, it's pretty deep, Dr. B. Well, what is it talking about? Well, it's deep, man. This is deep, man. This is really deep. And they said deep like 25 times, but they couldn't tell me one piece of the book. Basically, everybody got a parasite. He was excited to have read the book. You've got to go over and over and pick little pieces out of it so you can actually take that in and activate it in your world.
The thing is that you can read the whole book. And I love the book, and I've read the whole book, and reading the book in these chapters and then making it relatable. How many of you have books on your shelf that are, people read a million self-help books and they read them and they may read the entire book and they put it back on the shelf and they never implement a thing in the book. You have the book. You be reading it. You do have it.
And you be having it.
But what are you doing with the contents? And there was a young man that commented that he, where was it? Oh, he was speaking of being with the elders and being sought by people older than him for his wisdom. And I will tell you that we can connect to our elders, we can connect to our ancestors, and we can receive the downloads and receive the wisdom. And that is something that we can do. And that is something that some of us are gifted to do. But the large majority aren't able to connect on that level. And they need a literal infusion of wisdom from their elders. And community is everything. I know a gentleman that is his primary problem is that he was lonely, and it led to addiction, and loneliness does all of these things. And so community is so important for us on so many levels, right? You guys are amazing in these comments, and I'm really trying to keep up. And we need to really connect, right? This gives us the opportunity to connect and then to pour in. Not everybody can pour into me. There are so many people that would love to speak, and then I listen, and then I release it, right? But we have a well, and everyone can't replenish your well. Right? Just like everyone cannot do my hair, because everyone cannot be in my crown. This is sacred. What the person I chose to braid my hair, she needed to have a certain frequency to be able to have her energy for that number of hours in my crown. Oh, you have to select.
So check it out. I went to the store the other day, and I got out of the car, and I stopped before I walked through the threshold of the store. And something said, not today, not now. There was stuff in the store I needed. I got a message in my gut that said, not today, not now. I was able to override the need and the want for that stuff in the store and get back in my car. Because when you create what's called a transition point, where you sit before you go into the next phase, into the next room, or into your business, or go even into your house, you just got home, sit for a minute, stop for a minute, and breathe, and allow your system to realize it's going from one dimension to another.
Right.
This is important in business too. It's even important in business where if you have a family, and they always tell you, family shouldn't do business, and business and intimacy don't go together. Well, why are the richest people in the world doing it? Okay. One of the main chapters in Think and Grow Rich is the one about sexual transformation. I think that's the name of it, where he talks about the wealthiest people in the world have lots of sex. But while they're intimate, they are focusing and thinking about what it is they're creating, what they're casting into the quantum field. Brothers, men, what are you writing on the walls of the temple while you're in there? What are you writing? Are you conscious of what you're writing? It is a pen. That's right. A pen. Sisters, what are you allowing to be written, or what are you thinking and feeling while you're involved in the intimacy?
Who are you allowing to scribe on your temple wall? Who are you giving access?
Access to the room, the womb, which is the room, which is the temple. So in our business course, we need to be focusing on that, because orgasm, which has got to do with gold, aura, gold. How do you get to the gold mind, the gold mindset? What do you have a template? Do you have a roadmap to get you to the place? And will you be able to realize when you got there that you got the gold? I've been doing sessions lately. In fact, there's 5 of you who actually got a free consultation. Actually, I haven't called you yet. Some people, well, wow, last week you gave up some free consultations. Well, there's 5 of you who won a free consultation by being the first 5 people who purchased the Elevated Cleanse, and I'll be getting with you this week. But the questions have been deep in the comments, because I asked folks, what would you like? And most folks can't even tell me what it is they like, what they like. They tell me what they don't like. In your business, if you have a funder, he's got the money or she's got the money, and you can't tell them what it is you're going to do with it, or what you like and what you don't like, or who you are, you've got to take this into an orgasmic space, create gold. So that when you let go, you're sending into the universe your goals. Now, If
Whew.
you, right? Check it out. If your orgasm is full of psychic pathogenic thoughts that are happening in the background, hear me now. If your orgasmic energy is full of fear, feelings like fear, anger, rage, sadness, worry, grief, worthlessness, and shame, that hijacks your emotions and is inside the orgasm. For some, a simple event may activate this parasite. For others, it operates daily, quietly, keeping them from reaching their highest potential. How would you like to be intimate? Like sex, right? The word sex has to do with intersection. Two things coming together to create a new one. So you're giving birth. What are you giving birth to? Some people say, well, look, I'm not really into anybody else right now because folks got germs and I don't crush people. Okay. Well, let's say you're doing it by yourself. You're home alone, right? What are you moving towards in your goal? Your goal has to do with taking those hormones in your head and moving them up and down the 32 vertebrae, which has to do with the penoline and the oxytocin and the serotonin and the dopamine that you get when you are being intimate and you let go and have that orgasm. Your orgasm should be full of your new business goal, full of what you desire, full of your healing, full of awareness, and you moving towards during that let go. That out leaving. How's that? It's a new word.
Out leaving.
You got to know what to let out and what to let in. So in business, we also have to realize that our intimacy is a lot to do with our ultimacy. There's another new word. Intimacy has got to do with our ultimacy. Intimacy has got to do with your ultimacy. Your income
away from the microdose. Because it just went macro in a macronomous way. But
that's
what
colors now? I'm seeing shapes and things. The trees are saying yes, 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 hallelujah. Uh-oh, there's a hawk. There's a hawk flying in circles right out the window. Where's your hawk? Where's your eagle? Or, as Dawn Osborne said,
woo,
are you an eagle hanging out and eating and living with pigeons?
It's time to eagle up, right? So that whole eagle up theory. Wow. Whew. Okay. So it's time to eagle up. And eagles fly at an altitude where other birds can't even breathe, let alone fly. They can't even breathe. The air is so thin up there. And so how do you eagle up? Not are you flying with pigeons, because pigeons can't fly where eagles go. But why are you, the question was asked, why are you, this amazing eagle, in the parking lot trying to pick up bird seed with the pigeons? Your beak is not made to pick up bird seed in a parking lot with pigeons. It's time for you to eagle up.
And popcorn and nuts that humans left and little pieces of trash.
Time for you to eagle up, right? And so a lot of what Dr. B was talking about so we have the personal business management and funding acquisition class that we're going to do. A lot of what he was talking about came from, it didn't come from, but we also taught that in a sacred sexuality class. And it's amazing how the intersection of sacred sexuality and this personal business management and funding acquisition class mirror, right? Because as we're talking about birthing your business, we're talking about conscious co-creation of what you're creating in your business. It's the same thing with intimacy. That's conscious co-creation. You just hasn't been labeled as such. As you're getting all sexy and you're putting on you're gonna go do this and you're drawing the bath water and you're doing all these things, you are preparing to consciously co-create. You may be writing the business plan, the business of family. Don't know. But you're preparing to consciously co-create.
Yes.
And in this class, you will be preparing to consciously co-create. Sacred sexuality and funding, acquisition, and business management, they are both conscious co-creation. And we will show you how they line up in this course. You're getting a 2-for-1 because at this point, I've watched everything evolve and it's ascending together. This is deep, Dr. B.
Minding your business, learning to mind your business and business your mind. There's two things that affect us really big time in this culture. One is we're programmed to think too small. Even ask too small. $1 million. Well, shut your mouth. You don't even know what to do with $1 million. And once you get it, you didn't realize that a little light went off down at the IRS, so they're coming for their 500,000 or more. You see, so knowing what to do and how to create out of what you have. And the other piece is that when you have your mindset where it is written into your cells and your goal, your goal minded, just your chief aim, creating a statement. This is really important. That says exactly in one sentence, right? It's got to be a kinesthetic, auditory, visual statement experience. We're going to teach that in the course. How to create a kinesthetic, auditory, visual experience about what it is that your busyness, and your business is everything. Everything you're doing is your busyness.
Right.
You don't think of it as business, but the people who are using your energy, the beings that use our energy, see us as business. They see us as sheep on the farm. And that's okay. They can do what they like. We're not worried about them. It's not about being a victim. What are we doing? So as we create this, we have to break the spell of the psychic pathogens. The psychic pathogen piece is deep. Dawn, should we read a little more from the book? No, somebody's asking about the course, and somebody just got online.
There's a lot of questions.
We just developed it. It's happening
The details are coming for the course. We developed this course during this podcast. Today, we've developed the course
to now.
Coming from our conversation, it will be between 2 and 4 hours because our courses generally are that. It will be online first round, and then we will be taking it live to a venue near you, depending on where near you is. And there is homework for the course. You must email dawn@elevationtime.com, and you must give us 2 paragraphs. And let us know what your desires are and why you should be in the course. We are going to show you how to mind your business and business your mind.
Yes. In all aspects.
In all aspects of your life.
So that your ass specs can move toward an outcome, an outleaving, an orgasm. You got to have an orgasm, and that's when you have achieved a high level of, as my uncle would say, vibration.
And when you think in ink, before you go into your orgasmic field, you'll carry that frequency in. And after your orgasmic experience, if you continue to think in ink,
yes,
there are just things that you can do in that space, in that personal space of intimacy. It's into me I see.
Into me
I see.
I see.
Right? So
now, in certain cultures, we would have learned this. So I was talking about the Maasai people. The Maasai people are considered the most successful people on the planet. They live in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
It's times they don't go without eating for long periods of time. They live in one of the harshest places on the planet, but they're extremely successful. You can't raise children till you're at least 50. So what are you going to be giving to these children? You see? So the point here is that we have to become at 550, which is power refinement. So in this course, and about when you're reading the book, we're refining your power. When you're taking the cleanse, it's refining your power. 50 is about refining power. So let's all learn to refine our power. So as the book says, imagine a computer without a fully functional central processing unit. Its calculations could not be trusted.
Right.
How many of your choices were made under pressure, fear, or conditioning before we had our full mental circuits online? How many of those premature decisions now haunt us? There's not going to be any excuses once you get
How
this
many
course.
of those premature decisions now haunt us? Wow.
So there's not going to be any excuses once you take the course, because now you're going to be able to go back and rewrite the code that you may not have gotten as a child, and all those programs that got you believing in being poor, broke, lonely, and sick. You know, I was told when I was young that we needed to join the poor people's party. And I was young. I didn't know what they was talking about. The poor people's party? What is the poor people's party? I didn't know this was some political thing. We're going to the poor people's party. So I figure everybody there is going to be poor. Why do we want or decide to go with being poor unless we're talking about being poor righteous teachers? Poor righteous does not mean you don't have wealth. Poor, basically, in that term, means that we're ready to be open and poured into. Many of our parents, are you supposed to be reading, Dawn, or am I reading? I can took over the read.
I can take over. Many of our parents, doing what they thought was best, made us choose careers, religions, politics, friends, or even life partners long before we knew who we truly were and what we wanted. Often we made those decisions under emotional duress to please them. Yet many of our parents were never fulfilled or free themselves. They followed their own programs, often suppressing their dreams.
Now,
children are born with natural talents and unique frequencies, but are taught to deny, hide, or abandon them in the name of grow up. The result, most adults are living lives based on the conclusions of their childhood selves. You know, I was writing about my father, and I must tell you, the one word that comes to mind when I think of him is courage. He had the courage to tell everyone no. I understand I have 2 young daughters, but I know that I'm called to do what I'm supposed to do. No, I'm not going to get a job at McDonald's because it's tight right now. No, I'm not going to stop pursuing being a musician and an artist because you think it should be happening faster. No, I'm not going to do that. And today he's exactly who he is because he stayed the course.
Tell the people who he is. Who's your father?
My father is Jeffrey Osborne, and he stayed the course. He was 19 when I was born, and for all intents and purposes, he should have went and go get a job. Against the wish of everyone else, he stayed the course. He was a part of a band that had 11 members. When you take a check that's this big and you split it 11 ways, it becomes this big when you take it home. But he stayed the course. It's dedication and determination and discipline. It equals destiny. Yes, absolutely. And you just have to do that. But when I'm listening to this about our parents doing things under duress, or us doing things under duress to please our parents, there are times, even in that underdeveloped mind, that you know in your spirit what you are destined to do. I always say, some people are called and some people call themselves.
Some people know when to hang up. Some people know when to dial 911. Some people see the caller ID and know not to answer because parasites are on the line.
But he was a child born with natural talents and unique frequencies. And regardless of them trying to get him to deny them, hide them, or abandon them with the name of grow up, he said, oh, no, absolutely not. I'm going to live in my natural talents and unique frequencies.
You know, the reason why a lot of us have issues today is because our parents had parasites. Whether they were ideas, feelings, and emotions from the past. And I'm going to put up this slide and just break down some of the mental parasites that affect us. Okay. So some of these emotional symptoms are a mirror of what's happening in the gut, because the gut has the microbiome, which has a lot of our original thoughts. That's the gut feeling. So these parasites that are in our minds or in our bodies, physically, mentally, or energetically, they can affect your cognition, brain fog, forgetfulness, poor focus, confusion, mental fatigue, mood, and personality. Well, mood and actually those are titles, but irritability, even irrationality. Is that a word?
Right.
Anxiety, mood swings, hopelessness, emotional hypersensitivity. This is some of the stuff that our parents had that they passed on to us, right? Addictions, compulsive habits, procrastination, victim mindset, self-sabotage, social and relational issues, isolation, distrust, codependency, energetic drain after socializing, nervous system stress. Now, these are symptoms of mental parasites. Overreacting to small triggers, feeling wired but tired, random fear or dread, and low motivation, heaviness or fog, loss of inspiration, inner criticism, feeling drained after certain people or places, resistance to healing, guilt and shame loops. Ooh, that's deep. Guilt or shame loops. Like a lot of your music is based on guilt, shame, and anger loops. They're all in loops, sound loops.
Right.
Chaotic dreams, nightmares, sleep paralysis. You can't move. Right? Cold or tingling sensations, dimming aura. How many of you have been out there and been taught to dim your aura?
Turn the light down. It's too bright.
Turn it down. Be too loud out there. Don't be acting out.
Who she think she is? Who do you think you are?
You better turn your lights down. That's like the old parent voice. You know what I'm saying? Attraction to toxic people, repeating karmic loops, feeling fed upon by negativity.
Attraction to toxic people.
Whew. Think about that.
So when you think about a parasite, like the parasite that is constantly asking for sugar, you don't think of there's a parasite that's constantly reminding you need to be connected to a narcissist, because there's comfort in that for that parasite, and you don't understand why you keep repeating those loops and those relationships with that character type. Wow. So these parasites and the things that they request, that they call out for, there's a beckoning that happens with these parasites. And these are the things, the energetic signs, the higher dimensional effects, all of these things. And this is what the elevated total body cleanse, when I tell you, I'm functioning in this dimension, but not in this dimension. When I say my eyesight has improved, when I say that just my overall energy, and then I messed around and added the iron to the equation. Woo! Iron essentials is everything. Focus. I can't wait to do focus while microdosing. There's so many elements of the products that we have here at Elevation Time that create major change. But the elevated total body program that I'm on right now is, and I see you guys putting individual herbs in the chat. But the thing about the elevated total body program is it's all of those herbs and some of those herbs, but it's made, and Dr. B can speak of this, and we're just about at 10 o'clock. Seasonally, it changes because seasonally, the parasites change. So if you keep throwing cloves and black walnut and wormwood at them and black seed oil, they'll get a portion of them to respond. But there's so much more in the elevated total body program. Dr. B, you want to expound?
Most of those herbs that you hear about for parasites are not for all parasites. They're for in what they call enteric parasites, which are ingested, the digestive system only. They don't travel to the heart, the liver, the kidneys, the spleen. See, systemic parasites are different. So when somebody tells you this thing kills parasites, that's not the entire truth. It's like if somebody says, you know, let's say your name is Barbara. I know Barbara. They only know a certain portion of Barbara. People don't know. They don't study parasites. They're not parasitologists. They don't realize that sometimes the parasites themselves, like toxoplasma, and there's another one that uriplasma, they're causing you to go pick the herbs that actually, makes their environment better for them.
Right.
If you've been using, if cloves and wormwood, black walnut, worm seed, there's a group of them. You know, pineapple pineapple skins, they've been using this for thousands of years. So the parasites have built up a resistance. They have had babies, right, that eat that. I have watched parasites in the petri dish eat cloves. You got parasites that can withstand 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit. And they can live in places where it's 250 degrees below zero in ice. And you're going to tell me these simple herbs actually do this? I am a specialist. I studied this on many levels. You can't even do it with just herbs when you're talking about systemic parasites because they live throughout your system. They live in your auric field. These mental parasites, what we're talking about today, and what they call spiritual or energetic parasites, you have to clear your whole field of existence. So that's going to take certain herbs, and some of the herbs that we use you have never even heard of. You're also going to need to use certain flower essence, specific flower essences that reconnect you to the light waves that are coming to you from the universe. Certain essential oils, not all essential oils, not just what tea tree will do it. No, I'm trying to tell you those simple ideas were given to you. That's part of a program. And it's a part of us wanting to be, save money and just buy one thing. If you're ready to invest, you got to invest all the way and do the very best. Also, we use sound vibrations. We use light vibrations. I've put musical vibrations into the program. And you must also not just cleanse, you must also rebuild the system. So right. In here, this is about rebuilding the system, not just cleansing, but doing it on a systemic level and also reaching the parasites that are in your cosmic field and your brain that are causing you to think small. So if you're ready to really take life and take on life on that next level, the elevated total body program is the one, especially if you're dealing with what we call ongoing health issues. And for this week, we're going to offer the first three people who get an elevated cleanse by Sunday. They're going to get the sale. Also, I have a discount code, but you're also going to get a consultation with Dr. B. That whole package would be normally over $700 and something. So we're offering it for a special for the first three people who get the elevated, not the total body. The total body is great. Get that too. That deals with your average parasite. But we're talking about the systemic parasites. It's that program. And if you're planning on taking the course, you might as well get your program now. Because in order to really take in what we're about to give out, you've got to be clean and clear. Get your book at elevationtime.com. Get your cleanse at elevationtime.com.
James,
Dawn?
I could go into speaking about what it meant to be fed up upon by negativity. If you send me that question via email, I can expound because we're about at our closing point. I do want everyone to remind everyone my email is dawn@elevationtime.com. James Williams, please just send me that question in an email. I will happily engage with you. We can chat and we can do it offline. I don't want to take away from what we got going on. The course is it is going to be available. Send your email to dawn@elevationtime.com. And remember to give us 2 paragraphs about why you should be in the course. And we are so looking forward to this as this unfolds. It's wonderful to have been in community with all of you today. This has been rich. It has been very fulfilling. It has been eye opening. And I hope that it has been all of that and more for all of you. Um, invest in yourself, the Elevated Total Body Program. I'm in the middle of it. I'm a little beyond halfway through, but as I tell you, it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience. And every time I do the cleanse, it's a different experience. But this one has been amazing. And my eyesight is getting better. And I am in a very free flowing, fluid, fulfilled place. And my ability to hear and receive my downloads and manifest is the frequencies are amazing. And Dr. B's over there playing that drum, and it's I appreciate you all. Dr. B?
You can get your drum. They are back in stock. For those of you who are asking, when will the drum be back in stock? We just got another order of drums. This is the Medicine Drum 432. You can have it in your home. You don't need to be a musician to play, but if you are, that's great. But let the drum vibrate the feelings and the energies of the chakras, because each note helps to balance your chakras. I'm going to be doing a tutorial to talk about how to use this to clear your chakras. And also, let's say you have a business plan. If you play the drum, it creates the orgasm and the ecstasy that moves you towards your goal. So you can use your drum, use the music and the vibration to help clear your soul, because music affects us too, because most music is parasitic too. Most commercial music is parasitic unless it's tuned to sacred frequencies. So the drum is back in stock. Also, the medicine music project is online. For those of you who have already purchased the medicine music, there's a new link. I have to send it to you because we've changed the way the system is set up so that you can actually download some of the songs and tracks. So
Dr.
thank you
B,
very
there
much
was a
for being
question
here.
about essential balance and if there's any news on when that's going to be back available.
We're waiting for the news from the rainforest. Two of the ingredients are not available right now because of tariffs and things like that. So we're waiting patiently to get the news. I will not make a product unless I can use the very, very best indigenous herbs. I know a lot of folks just, let me just make the product and get it out. It's about the money. This is not about the money. This is a ministry. So the things that are out of stock, and I tell people all the time, don't just, if you really want something, you desire something, maybe you should stock up. Because you remember what happened during the shutdown. Folks were like in line. Well, where's the products? Look, there's a shutdown happening. You
Right.
see, so if you stock up and don't wait for an emergency, emerge and see right now. And for your business, if you're making $1 million, what about 10 mil? If you're a
Have you
thousandaire,
plateaued?
if you're a thousandaire, what about being 100,000aire or a millionaire? If you've only got $10, let's 10 times that up by joining
I
this
once
class.
asked a sister, I said, what do you need to make a month? And the number was so low. I said, how would you feel if I could show you how to make $30,000 a month with ease and grace?
Wow.
She said, that's what I make a year. So being able to project what you had customarily been making in a year, even if it's $60,000, and have that be what you see in 1 month, and making that your reality and calling it into existence. When I was manifesting years ago, I just said, I don't want to ever see, my highest desire is to always see $10,000 in my bank account. Let that be the baseline. And then when it happened, I was like, wait, whoa, because I gave the universe something specific to deliver. I need $10,000 in each account as the baseline.
The baseline. That's what's important in music. In music, that baseline. You don't have no baseline. We can't dance. You need a baseline so we can dance.
So I needed to be able to dance with my
dance
money.
away
My
all your
baseline
constrictions.
was $10,000 into each account.
You need a baseline so you can dance away all of your constrictions and restrictions.
There you go.
So, we're going to be talking more about the course. We're going to do part 2 on this next week because we've got a lot to cover on this chapter, but we got so excited about this new business idea. So I'm going to play a little bit of the drum, and any products that you would like to receive at elevationtime.com. There is a sale on many of the products. And because we are moving into April showers brings May flowers. Oh, keep in mind, there's a drought. All across the United States, there's been a drought. It hasn't been raining like it normally does. Even in Georgia, we've had fires like crazy.
So we need everybody to order a drum, and then we'll do some rain music.
We can make some. How'd you know I was going to go there? How'd you know that? You're reading my mind. So thank you very much for being here. I'm going to take it home with a little bit of live medicine drum music. Your cleanses are at elevationtime.com, and there's many things to offer at elevationtime.com. Just go visit and make sure you share and like today's course, whatever you'd like to call it, and travel light without most of that luggage. Yes. And get on the email list at elevationtime.com so you can know what's coming, because we'll be sending out special notifications, and we're waiting for that note from you so that you can mind your business and business your mind and level up. And the business of healing is the same thing as the business of creating a physical business. It's all business in the universe. So Dawn, any last words?
Let's consciously co-create together. Send that email. Let's get this course going. I'm excited to be in community with all of you as we assist you thinking in ink and birthing that vision.
I'm going to take it out with the drum. Thank you, Dawn. We'll talk in a minute. We got to talk. We got to talk today and put this together.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Travel light. We'll talk soon. Much love to all of you. And remember, all that luggage needs to be gone through, and you've got to tune up to the frequencies in you. Get yourself a drum and use that code. You can use the discount code to get you a drum and drum away the things you no longer desire. Get your cleanse and get in this course, because you got to get in where you fit in and get out of the places that you have been in and let go of some of those parasites. The question is, what is eating you, and what will you allow to eat you from this point on? Much love. All. I'm going to play a little drum. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
I'm going to move the mic over to the drum. A song. This is a tune that works on the first 3 chakras: the root chakra, the second chakra, and the third chakra. I'm playing notes that help to tune up those chakras. So breathe and close your eyes. Thank you very much. We'll see you again next week. Remember, love, harmony, and peace to you all. It's about you. Remember you. Put yourself first. Be a little selfish. And don't forget to voice your opinions to yourself first. Much love and harmony. This is Dr. B signing off. Dr. B Sirius, elevationtime.com. This is the music called You, which is part of the soundtrack, Medicine Music Collective Special Edition, which is a soundtrack for the book. If you get the book, you can also get the soundtrack. And you get 2 songs with the book, but you can also buy the complete package and get everything. It's about you. Much love. See you again next week. Make sure you're on the email list and travel light. Most of that luggage is not yours.